Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Concise Conversations with Kathy and Jackie. We are so happy to welcome back Jornea Armant with Flipgrid so we can learn a little bit more about it. And this will be a not so concise episode. So uh, strap in for a 30-minute episode where we're going to take a deep dive into Flipgrid. So with that, I'm going to step into the background and kick it over to Kathy.
Thank you, Dakota. Welcome, everyone. We are so excited to have our own Jornea Armant back with us today. You know, we met Jornea when she was an instructional partner at Harvest Elementary, and she's gone on to big things with Flipgrid, and we are just delighted that you are with us, particularly during this very challenging time when we're all learning how to reach students remotely and really engage them deeply. So, Jornea, thank you so much for being with us again today.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here and excited for today's conversation. Hopefully all the educators who are watching today not really look at this time as challenges, but also a time of opportunity. Right. And hopefully today I can show you some opportunities that are available just utilizing technology to engage our learners during this remote learning phase.
That is fantastic, Jornea. You know, there are lots of silver linings in this epidemic, and I think one of them is that we're all being moved out of our comfort zone, but our comfort zone is growing. We're learning a lot more as that happens, and I think this is going to forever change education, even when we're able to be comfortable back to face. So, welcome. And I know that Jackie is looking forward to engaging in dialogue with you as well. So she's going to ask the first question.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. And Jornea, it's thank you so much for agreeing to return. We certainly ran out of time very quickly last week, and we're just really learning some new things about Flipgrid. I know so many teachers in Alabama who are using Flipgrid and so value it. And Jornea, you know, my passion is questioning and getting students engaged through questioning. And I feel that Flipgrid is just a natural to promote all students being engaged. And particularly, you know, I think of the research of John Hattie about formative feedback. One of the number one influences on student learning, that formative assessment and then formative feedback. And I think of Flipgrid as almost the perfect tool for teachers to secure that feedback from students, to understand where the students are in their learning, and then to give back feedback that will help the students take that next step. Would you agree with that? And if so, would you maybe talk a little bit about the potential of Flipgrid to do that?
Definitely. You know, pedagogy always comes first, right? And we know all of those great practices that are in place in classrooms, such as wait time and giving students the opportunity to think and write and connect with other students, you know, as they're formulating their ideas. And so with a technology tool like Flipgrid, it makes these very easy to be able to implement. Number one, with Flipgrid, all students have an equal opportunity to share their voice in their own unique and creative ways. Whereas sometimes in the classroom, you might not have the opportunity for all students to share all at the same time, but you put in a technology tool and it at least provides the platform and the space. The great thing about that as well is it allows students to really use those metacognitive skills. So as they are recording, they're thinking about what they're saying. As they're, you know, in the editing phase, they're listening to what they're saying. They have the opportunity to revise and change, you know, what they are saying. Once they post, others can see their responses. So then you have students learning and growing from one another and either adding on to their knowledge or maybe shifting their knowledge based upon what someone else has said, or maybe even offering new ideas for others to learn from. And then, of course, when it comes to the educator, once again, what a beautiful tool to have all of this formative assessment data to make the most informed decisions. So as educators, of course, we are looking for those misconceptions that students may have. And oftentimes in the classroom, especially if it's something that's maybe written based, or maybe if you have something multiple choice, it may be a little bit difficult to understand the misconception. But when students are truly showing what they know and going through their thinking process, it makes it a whole lot easier for the educator to actually understand maybe that area that the student maybe didn't get so well, and know exactly how to give feedback and give them a most appropriate feedback for that student. And once again, the student can also reply back to the teacher. So it really is a multifaceted street, not just a two-way street. I mean, you are connecting and formatively assessing on so many different levels, whether it's self, peers, or with the educator.
And I just love that. And you know what Flipgrid can do is, even in asynchronous times, it makes it so dynamic and interactive. So and we're using it in our first KLN remote because of that very reason. So we're very thankful. Well, at the last Concise conversation, you just had a release of new and improved Flipgrid, and you've agreed. That's why we wanted you to come back, because we just ran out of time. So can you show our listeners and watchers some of the great things that they can do with Flipgrid?
Absolutely. So hopefully you will see my screen in just a moment. And what I will put up here is our flipgrid.com. Okay, so once everyone signs into flipgrid.com, just note, and actually let me just go there so you can see what that looks like. Just know, if you're not familiar with Flipgrid, Flipgrid is 100% free. Okay, so there's no cost whatsoever associated with Flipgrid. You as the educator are the only one who needs an account. Your students do not need accounts with Flipgrid. They will join with a special join code. So you'll see the sign up in the top right-hand corner and the login link right next to it. And once you log in, you're going to be on your landing page to start your discussions in your classroom. And one of the new updates that we made is that before, if you remember, the name is Flipgrid. So it used to be a grid, and we would have something called grids that you would need to start with, which was your learning community. So we just simply changed that terminology really to translate into multiple languages, that grids are really groups. These are your classes. These are going to be your fifth period science class, or maybe it's your robotics club, or maybe it's your first grade class, okay, as a group. But now you can also create individual topics that live outside of groups. So if you did not have a learning community, maybe you just want to share a topic, you know, with your family members, like a special happy birthday message, maybe to your grandmother. You know, you can create a topic without creating a group now inside of Flipgrid. So that's one of our updates. So I'm going to show you really quickly how easy it is to get started with Flipgrid. So right now I'm in groups, and the reason why I'm choosing to go into groups, because most of you who are watching are probably either in the classroom or at least have a learning community within a school. Okay, so we're going to create a group, and I'll just call this one Alabama Educators as my group name. Now I have a join code, and the really cool thing about the join code in a group is that you can customize it. So I can type in Alabama Ed, and it is available. So the only thing that my learning community will need is that join code Alabama Ed, and then they'll be able to see the group as well as any topics I've added to that group. Now you determine how you want others to access. This is where your privacy controls come in. So you can either use your student email domains, in which most schools in Alabama are either using their Microsoft or Google school emails. And if your school does not have a domain associated with Microsoft or Google, you can add in student usernames with ease as well. Okay, so we'll just use that student email domain. And for example, for Madison County, so I can type in madison.k12.al.us. That is the domain. Everything after the @ symbol. Just remember, sometimes the student and the educator domain may be slightly different. And if you ever have any guests to join your grid, your group, you can create a password. So I'm actually going to type in Alabama here, my password, capital L-A-B-A-A. There we go. And now I'm going to click next. Oops. I'm missing something. All right, I think is what I'm using. All right, and so now it's asking me, do I want to do a topic? So if you've used Flipgrid when you have topics for the educator, and I'm going back to the educator side right now, what you're going to see is when I click on the student video, I now have the option to either add that comment, which everyone in the class will be able to see, or leave feedback. And that feedback is more private feedback for that student. So you can record a video, you can either grade using a rubric, or you can create your own custom rubric, or even type in private comments for the student to access. And they have access to this at any point in time, okay? So nothing ever gets lost in a backpack. So that is the simplicity of Flipgrid. You create your group, you create your topic, you share it with your learners share their videos, and then everyone participates in social learning together.
Jornea, that's great. I know the weather that you're having really affected the sound. We could see everything on the screen, and I think people probably could follow along with what you were saying. I wonder, is there a tutorial, or is there some way, if people wanted to go back and see what you just did and have it narrated, it really broke up, they could do that?
Definitely. So what we can do, I'll share our help site, help.flipgrid.com. Oops, that's not right. Help.flipgrid.com. If you type in getting started, or you'll see right here, we have the getting started and get started for students. This will walk you through exactly how to get a free account, how to get the topic, and how to share the topic with your students. So there is a video available, as well as step-by-step directions for getting started.
That's great. I think we're intermittent, but let's go ahead and try some more, and we'll see what else you can show folks. And I'll interrupt if the sound starts getting fuzzy a little bit.
Okay. Right. So in addition to creating your group and your topic, so here's our group and here's our topic, your welcome topic. There's also discovery, where educators can find topics that are already created by other educators or by partners. So what we've done is pull out a topic of the day and a wonder of the day for students to engage in. So this is a great one for the beginning of a school year, the real meaning of friendship. A very simple question that any student, no matter the age, can respond to. So as an educator, you can either save this in a collection to use at a later time, or you can view that topic and add the topic to your group or to your class. So I'm going to add that to my Alabama educators group, and what I'll get is a template that I can edit. So if I want to use a different image, or maybe if there's an article or a story I want the students to read, I can add that in there and make this topic my own. I can change all the settings that I would need for my class and click update topic. And now this is now 2 topics inside of that group. So if I go back to my student view, and I go back out of here, I'm going to refresh and let's see what we get here. Let's go back to our Alabama educators. Alabama Ed. There we go. All right, and so now you see that we have 2 topics, and students would just click down to see the other topics that are available to them in their class. So the Discovery Library is a really amazing resource, and let me go back here, for you to explore. We have almost 25,000 topics, and what's really neat is we've curated topics just for you. So if you're looking for back to school topics, here's a list of back to school topics that you may want to explore. So from the Anti-Defamation League, we have topics talking about diversity and diverse books, and about identity and gender pronouns. What a great way to start the beginning of the school year with that. Or educators who have submitted organization to get kids started at the beginning of school. Everyone has a name, talking about how special your name is, goal setting, okay? So wonderful topics as you start the school year. In addition to that back to school playlist, we also have a playlist for conversations about race, equity, and justice. And then you'll also see that we have a social and emotional playlist as well. So in conversations about race, equity, and justice, if you're looking for literature or topics to really promote diversity and learning about differences, these are amazing topics. And for the social and emotional topics, you'll see that there's topics where students learn more about mindfulness and how to really connect with their emotions and how to communicate that best, knowing how their brain works and how they think and how they learn, and communicating that with others. We also have partner topics from Made by Dyslexia. So we know that there's lots of students who may not even know that they have dyslexia. And so we have topics for educators to be able to engage their students and to know what type of learner they are and what are their strengths and what are their challenges, which we like to call their superpowers, because then they can really find those strengths, and they can use their strengths to overcome some of the barriers that they may also have. So that is Discovery. It's super simple. Like I mentioned, you click on that topic, you add it to whatever group you want to engage with that topic, and then you get the template and click Update Topic, and now it becomes a part of your classroom conversations. As simple as that. So any questions, Kathy or Jackie? Hopefully you were able to hear a little bit more that time.
Yes, Jornea, we got all of that. So that was great. And the Discovery Library is just amazing. And I think you must be adding to it almost daily now, right?
Yes, we add approximately 200 to 300 topics every day from topics submitted by educators. So every topic is read and reviewed and approved before it is shown to educators in the library. And we have now over 19 partners who have made a commitment to adding in their incredible content for free. So if it's a partner that you are familiar with and you're like, oh, they have a paid model, well, guess what? The materials inside of Flipgrid are free for you to use with your students.
That is wonderful. And are these by grade level, Jornea, when you get inside of a topic? Yes. Where we were able to see
every topic will have a subject associated with it, as well as an audience or grade level band. So I suggest searching by your grade level band and your subject, but you can also search by key terms. So there's some topics that any age level can use. So if you have something specific that you're looking for, put in that search term, and you may be surprised to find something that will work very well for your students.
So Jornea, I'm kind of intrigued with Wonderopolis. Is that what it's called? What can you show us that? It just sounds like a wonderful song. It makes me want to wonder about it.
Wonderopolis is wonderful. And so I'm going to click inside of their partner page. And so what you'll see here is Wonderopolis is an organization that is committed to empowering students to wonder and question. And every article that they write is actually a question that was submitted by a student, which is incredible. Okay, so this is a wonderful way to show students how much they are valued and empowered, because they leave their questions on Wonderopolis, and Wonderopolis will create an article. So here are a few of their collections. Like here's a social justice collection from Wonderopolis. So I'm just going to click on the first topic. What is a civil right? You see that they have video content available for this topic through Vimeo that students can watch. And then here's the question. How much do you know about civil rights? Read the article or watch the video to learn more. Which civil rights are most important to you? And in what ways are people still fighting for their civil rights? And students will be able to click right here and see that Wonderopolis Wonder. So here's that entire article with vocabulary and resources available right on their page for students to explore. And once students finish reading, once again, all they do is leave their message on Flipgrid. And I know we hadn't touched on it, but every single topic is also has the immersive reader embedded. So they have those wonderful resources to have text read aloud, or they can turn on text features such as increasing the text size or the contrast, or even turn on syllabication to help with reading or parts of speech. And then they can also translate into another language. And they can always go back from the original language to the translated language of their choice. So what a wonderful way for every topic to be very inclusive to all learners.
Absolutely. So Jornea, a student could control the language, is that right? Or would a teacher practice? Okay.
Those students have that autonomy. Yes. So the student is the one who would use the immersive reader and determine which features would be best for them to understand, and I love that, they don't have to wait on someone else to do it for them. So once they learn about that little blue button, their faces light up, and they feel empowered.
Well, this is just fantastic, Jornea. It's really just so many great resources at people's fingertips. And I think for teachers that are just beginning to step into the virtual world, this will be a tremendous tool. So you've shown them the help desk. And is there anything else in our waning time that you want to share or recommend to new users of Flipgrid?
So I would love to share our blog page. So if you go to blog.flipgrid.com, you will just find inspiration all over the blog. So you'll see anywhere from educator spotlights, in which we love to highlight educators and share their stories, with everyone around the world. So this is our friend Jake from Ohio. So you can read about him and all the wonderful things that he does. He has an awesome podcast. Here's a guest post from Kristen Merrill from Florida, and she's sharing about ways that you can use Flipgrid to build community on the first day of school. And this screenshot is all the cool text that's inside of Flipgrid. So it's really fun for students to be able to create in fun ways. And these are 16 ways that she has shared how you can use Flipgrid on the first day of school. In addition to those, here is our blog about the brand new Flipgrid. So if you want a one pager or more information about those new features, in the introducing the all new Flipgrid, we have a video.
Terrific. Jornea, it strikes me that Flipgrid is really a gift to teachers anytime, but especially during this time, whether teachers are engaged in blending learning in the classroom or through virtual learning, through hybrid. What a lot of possibilities for connecting their students face-to-face, literally, through Flipgrid. This is really exciting. What a gift, as I said.
Yes, absolutely. And we invite every educator, once again, to sign up for a free account and get connected, because we are a community of educators who are there to support one another. So don't feel like you're in this alone. We have webinars weekly, as well as an amazing community on social media. So if you just use the hashtag Flipgrid for all, you'll see all the amazing ideas that educators around the world are sharing, how they're empowering their students using Flipgrid.
Well, Jornea, we certainly appreciate you spending this time with us. And I'm sorry the weather caused some problems, but I think still, even through the weather, it was really inspiring. So we're so grateful and proud of you, and particularly want to thank you for this time, both today and last week. And we hope we can get you back at another time because there's so much more to share.
Yes, I'll just have to call and say, hey, weather, pause for a second.
Well, down in New Orleans, you never know, do you, Jornea?
Never know.
Yeah.
It's that season.
Well, Jornea, you're going to be delighted to know who our guest is next week. Dakota, who do we have next week joining us?
Well, he doesn't need much introduction. So Jim Knight will be joining us next week for a quick conversation. So join us again next week, Thursday at 1 o'clock to see what he has to say. We're very excited to have him here. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Jornea, for being our guest once again. First two-time guest. What an achievement. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody next week. Y'all have a good week.
Bye, everyone.